Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
Last week I gave you a super cheap and very tasty pork recipe. But this week is going to be even better. This is a pork collar. In the Netherlands we know it as procureur, and it's one of my favorite pieces of pork. It's packed full with flavor, and currently in the Netherlands it's raging cheap. It's even cheaper than chicken. So stop buying cheap chicken and buy even cheaper pork and start making this. This is extremely cheap homemade pulled pork. Just buy yourself a couple of pulled pork collars, season them and smoke them on your barbecue. Cook them through all the way until they're ready to be pulled. And that's what this is. This is a package of ultra cheap family weekday meals. This is pulled pork made out of the pork collar, which is one of the tastiest, creamiest and richest in flavor you can have. And for those wondering how to make this, we got plenty of delicious pulled pork recipes on our website. Now the first step of this recipe is heating up this pulled pork. I'll be cooking on the Napoleon Prestige Pro 500. This thing is an absolute dream to work with. And to heat up my pulled pork, I'm going to put in my cast iron Scotsburg pan. Cast iron is absolutely perfect for reheating food because one of its key features is its mass. And with its mass comes the division of energy. Well, it's a long technical explanation to tell you that all the heat coming from the burners down below will spread out throughout the pan and even the cast iron lid, and it will cook and reheat my pulled pork evenly and preventing it from drying out or burning at the bottom while it's not cooked at the top. Set the center two burners to the lowest setting. Close the lid and let the pulled pork slowly get up to temperature. While I wait for my pulled pork to warm up, I'll be cooking on my side burner. This is an infrared side burner with a lot of heat, and since I want to boil some water, I need plenty of heat. Turn the gas on, wait for 5 seconds, light it up. And to boil some water, I'll be using this large Scotsburg stainless steel pan, in which I'm going to add 2 liters of water, 500 grams of penne pasta. My pasta is going to be cooking, my pulled pork is getting up to temperature, and you and me are going to cut some vegetables. Well, it's only one. It's more of like a optional thing. It's not like you might want to eat some veggies on the side. I haven't thought about that really. Vegetables are expensive. I'm going to chop fine some spring onions. Chop fine some raw bacon. In the meantime, our pasta is cooked. And of course, how do you determine if your pasta is cooked? Well, there's a lot of Italian ideas on throwing things against wall and stuff like that. But my favorite way to do it is just bite into it. Some people like their pasta super soft. Some like it al dente. It's your own choice. There's a lot of rules in Italy, but we don't have to apply them everywhere in the world. Still, I do believe they have a point. That's why I am going to go for al dente, which means it still has a little bit of bite. So once I get rid of the water and I mix it in with my other ingredients, it might continue to cook just a little bit. And then my pasta is perfect the way I like it. Now let's open up that Scotsburg pan. Take a look at the pulled pork. See how nice and slowly this is warming up. Fat is starting to accumulate at the bottom. I'm going to move this pan over to the side, turn on all 4 burners, let them to full throttle, get my bacon cooking pan out, put the bacon in and start frying up that bacon. The bacon is starting to crispen up. I'm going to add a handful of green onions, and once the onions turn soft, the pulled pork is warm, it's time to mix it all together. Now it's time to get the pasta back out. Then I'm going to add 300 grams of cream cheese, the bacon and the scallions, the pulled pork, of course some fresh grated young Gouda cheese. Then it's time to mix it all together and turn it into a delicious family meal. Now you know this is power food. Make it okay to eat these amount of calories.
Barbecue is hard work.
No cap. Whatever the reason is, you need these amounts of calories. I do, and I think you do too. Maybe you did some yard work. Maybe you were working in the garden all this time, you're hungry. It's okay. Now the first step is done. That's right, there's more coming. Time to get this in a bowl, portion this up. And of course it's time to add more grated cheese. Every dish deserves a little bit of grated cheese, and especially a delicious pasta dish like this. And what's better to use than Dutch young Gouda cheese? Yeah, but I practically live on a mountain of cheese. Everywhere you look around here, there's cheese. We're farmers here, dairy farmers, and they bring it to the cheese factory, and then it comes back and we have cheese and endless amounts of cheese. It's just like it's raining cheese sometime. I think that'll be enough. This bowl is going back on the barbecue at maximum heat, and I'm going to let that cheese melt. This already looks good, but it needs a little bit more char. Then I'm gonna drizzle on a little bit of garlic sauce, a little bit of barbecue sauce, a few fine chopped scallions, and that's how you make world's best pulled pork pasta. Ho ho ho! Now who wouldn't want to dive into this? I wish you were here. If you could taste this, it tastes ridiculously good. The pasta alone with the pulled pork, man, it's fantastic. And just imagine how cheap this is compared to like whatever chicken or the cheapest meat you can think of. I'd love to know what is cheap in your country, because in the Netherlands it doesn't get cheaper than this and it doesn't get tastier than this. Tasty does count though.